So Hilwert is a 17-year-old purebred Friesian stallion. He was one of the first imported into Australia. So he's got the bloodlines that are the good kind. Now the thing about Hilwert is that he was a very popular stallion in his younger days. So his breeding licence was revoked. Now that doesn't mean we can't breed with him, but I'm going to use him as a stallion over my crossbred mares, so for Warlanders and that kind of thing. Now the thing about little Hilwert is I've got him as a free lease from Debbie, from the Dark Side Friesians, because he's come from the south coast and he wasn't coping with the environment down there. So we have an arrangement. I have him basically living up here and I'm going to help him recover, and he's got issues with his legs and he's clearly a bit tired, and the pasture down there wasn't particularly good for him. So he's come up to the Central West and I'm going to be taking him on, and the breeding season he'll go back down to Debbie for 2 months and he'll stay here for the remainder of the time, and I'll ride him. And don't know if I'll necessarily ride him. I mean, poor old fella's probably had a bit of a hard life. He's been a carriage horse, he's been a Pre St George horse, he's a bit beat up at the moment from what Debbie and I have agreed that this is probably the case. So I'm just going to try and take as good care of him as I can as an older horse, and we're going to do some work with him just to help his structure. So a few things I want to point out is his very high head and neck carriage, which is a feature of the breed, but what we need to do is to help him extend his neck and stretch his neck, so he's got a better a stretching posture as well as a high carriage posture. You can see he's also got a very high joint there, sacroiliac joint. That's commonly known as your hunter's bump. Now that's from tight psoas and clearly a lot of training and collection work which has not been corrected with counter postures over a long time. The other thing that we have, and I'm going to just show you what I'm doing, he's got a paspalum allergy, which is one of the main reasons why Deb was really concerned. She couldn't get on top of this issue. So Central West we don't have much paspalum, so I'm trimming his. We've tested for mites. He doesn't have mites. He's got a very bad allergy, and which has turned into a bit of greasy heel, which is very unusual for horses with dark skin. But for him, with those feathers, it's really caused a massive problem. So he's got a bit of, I don't know, you could call it mud rot or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, I'm going to be treating that with some Infectaclear and changing his diet slightly. The other thing that he's got is, I just want to show you, he's got a bit of a pigeon chest. So that's an interesting phenomenon. I've not seen that before, really. So I'm going to be talking to Raquel and Nadine about what we can do for that, and also our osteopath Anna, and also Crystal, our Bowen therapist. So we're going to be doing a full overhaul. We're going to do dental, osteo, chiropractic, and herbal therapy to rehab him. And the other thing that he's got is he's got a little bit of an issue with his eye, where he's a bit blind. He's got a bit of a damage there. Had an ulcer there that wasn't particularly well treated. It's a bit blue, so I'm going to try and work on that as well and see if I can reduce that blueness. I have actually successfully done that with horses. He's partially blind at the back, which means that when we do training I'm going to have to use voice commands because it's a bit blurry there. So there's a few things that we can do with this horse, and we're going to document this over the next 12 months and see how we transform him. But I'm just going to do a full, so you can see what he's like. He's a lovely horse. He's the kindest boy, and he's a really gentle giant. And I can't wait to get him started, which I already have. I've started trimming him up, and we're going to get those legs sorted. Number one, change his diet, get some blood cleansing happening, support his immune system, detox him, really support his liver function, and also his skeletal system.